Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And we have breaking news that Jarvis Butts has kicked the bucket, okay? He took the easy way out. He is no longer living. He decided to take his own life. Now, I just got off of an hour or so live where we went over him, deciding to delete himself. We went over how the sentencing went. We went over how Nazia's family failed her. And now in this video, I wanted to hear from the audience. I wanted to hear what you guys thought about this guy being deceased and the whole shebang. Now, YouTube is very sensitive. So, there are certain words, if you watch YouTube or the buzzwords, change it up. If you want to call him, an offender, call him an offender. There's certain words that y'all know, what I'm saying? So keep it, YouTube friendly. All right. So the first person we're going to bring up, hey, Tish, do you want to be on camera or do you just want to have the audio?
Just audio or something.
Okay. What is your thoughts about this breaking news?
Well, first of all, it's bittersweet. I'm just gonna be really, really honest. When I first heard it, I was like super happy. But then I thought about it and was like, we still don't know where this baby at.
Mm-hmm.
If who knows, he might have left a note, this is that and the other. I personally wish that it had been somebody else that did it just so he could suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Just so he could suffer. I feel like he deserved to suffer. I feel like he need to burn.
Yeah.
I'm from Detroit, so I see a lot of stuff going on.
So
We just had another girl.
have you ran into Shannon, Annette, or the sister, being that you live in Detroit?
I saw Shannon at court one day. I don't think it was related to this. I just happened to be at court with my son.
Okay.
And I was like, is that her? I don't know her. She from the other side of town.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge difference in east side and west side, but she from the east side. But I just kept looking at her. I was like, that's her. I don't know if she was there about her kids or what she was there for, but she was at court.
Okay.
But no, that's not somebody I'm gonna run across. I'm a little bit older. I'm a
Okay.
little bit older. I'm a little bit more seasoned. We don't run in the same areas. Now I might run across the grandma at the casino
Oh, okay.
because I've been looking for her. Trust me.
Child, what would you say to her if you seen her?
Well, first of all, I'm a grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And as a grandmother, you know when a child is pregnant. My daughter got pregnant at 16, and I think I knew it within 6 to 8 weeks. I was like, hey, you pregnant? You know. So there's no way she didn't know because even looking at the videos that Nazia did, her little TikToks, um, you could see you could see her belly. I'm sure you could see it,
Yeah.
especially that one she was doing in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. She was definitely like 5, 6 months in those
E-
videos.
Exactly. So you knew she was pregnant. You handled the situation, but as soon as you found out who the father was, okay, I'm a little bit different. Police. We don't call the police where I'm from. Okay, I got
Mm-hmm.
somebody else I can call for you, but we don't call the police where I'm from.
Yeah.
So I mean, me personally, I just feel like this all could have been avoided. It was a year and some change earlier that this should have never happened to them. This should have
Correct.
never happened to her. And all the cousins, you know what I'm saying? They were bickering back and forth. I don't care nothing about that because at the end of the day, they all really wanted the same thing. They just wanted. I don't know if it was they wanted to be recognized for what they did. That part doesn't matter. that's just the ego thing to me.
Mhm.
As long as they all had a common goal. I think I commend those cousins for trying to step up, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get the baby's help. But that his daughter on the stand,
Yeah.
see, I watched it live. I watched it live. When I tell you I was sitting here crying,
Yeah.
I was laying in the middle of my bed crying, watching it. And then of course, the whole little terrorist thing came up and cut it off. So I was so angry. I was trying to catch it on online. But yeah, this could have been avoided. It could have been avoided. And I really, like I said, I wish they had hurt him.
Yeah.
They broke
All
him up.
right. Well, thank you, Tish. We have several other people that is coming up. I appreciate you for coming up. We're gonna go to Cassandra. Cassandra, do you want to be on camera?
Yes,
Okay, so hold on one second. Let me put you on camera, but just keep your, you know what I'm saying, your fire down, you know.
I got it.
Okay. Let me pull Cassandra up. All right, hold on. Let me get it situated. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me. Okay. All right, Cassandra, what's your thoughts?
Okay. Hi, Nick.
Hey.
And hello, everyone. I'm calling in from California, and I just wanted to say that this entire situation has been very, very tragic. And again, my heart is continues to go out to Nazaya. And I hope that she is able to be put to rest
Yeah.
properly. Um, my only hopes is that I wish that he would have said where she was before his demise. Um, but I just wanted to say that again, this is an overall tragic situation, but it's good on the taxpayers that we don't have to fund this person anymore, and that he took the coward way out. Um, I hope that he heard everything that his sister said to him in the victim impact statements that she gave. Um, but yeah, this is just a really tragic situation. But um, I hope that all the victims, heal from this, and that, maybe that one day they could find some closure.
All right. Thank you so much. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me, Nick.
All right. Thank you. Tia from Detroit, do you want to be on camera? Put a thumbs up if you want to be on camera. All right. If you guys are on, if just put the turn the music off if there's music playing in the back.
No music.
Okay, Tia, what was your there's interference. Turn down the volume or something. There's interference.
Can you hold on? Let me. You probably because you're in my ear. Let me take you off my Bluetooth. Hold on. Better.
Yes, yes. Okay, much better.
Okay. First, Nick, I want to tell you I'm a big fan of yours. I
Thank
watch
you.
you all the time, so I should throw it out there. But I'm gonna couple what everybody else has said. It's a sad situation. It's a tragic situation. He is a coward. I was watching the sentencing, and I actually saw it live. So we were at the courthouse, and to hear, first of all, how many victims there are and there were. Somebody knew the type of man that this man was, and to continue to allow him around children broke my heart. You know, I could have sworn I saw somewhere that they were saying that he released the location of her body. Maybe I saw that incorrectly or read that incorrectly. I hope he left a letter, you know, saying that so that this poor family can really lay this baby to rest the proper way. Unfortunately, you know, in Detroit, it wasn't a really big deal until he was arrested, and we didn't know much about it until he was arrested. And that's the other thing that kind of breaks my heart. You know, this is not something that is uncommon anymore. We are seeing this more and more these days, where there are predators preying on these poor babies. And I really, as a mom of 2 children, I have a boy and a girl, I just want moms, please be more vigilant, be more observant. You know, watch the signs, you know, study your babies. You know your babies more than anybody else.
Right.
And like the last lady said, you know, you could tell this poor baby was pregnant. She was little, and then all of a sudden she's got this belly, you know, and I'm sure that she probably reached out to somebody. She said something to somebody. We've got to stop ignoring these babies. When our children tell us things, even if it hurts our feelings, even if it's somebody that we love and they're, you know, bringing forth accusations, look into it. You know, let my poor daughter came to me right now and said anything about, you know, her bonus father. I love him to death, but I'm going to have to stand by my daughter, you know, until I'm shown that it's incorrect or it's false or anything, you know. And so, like I said, as a mom, it broke my heart. I cried, just like everybody else is saying. I cried. And then I too want to, you know, remind everybody, yes, while it sounds like he got 135, it was not. It was to run concurrent, not consecutive. So let's keep that in mind too, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there that please, moms and dads, watch your babies. Listen to what your babies are saying. You know, vet these men that we bring around our children. Even my husband now, he couldn't meet my daughter until we were well into our relationship. Just because you never know nowadays, you know. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Neek. I didn't want to take up too much time, but yeah. I had to let that be known.
Well, thank you so much for coming up. You guys don't have to be on camera if you come up, but camera is going to get priority. If you show yourself on camera, that's more aesthetically pleasing for the viewers. So
I hope I look okay.
Yeah, you look fine, girl. You look just fine.
Okay.
But, yeah, so all right, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
welcome. And keep doing your thing, girl. You're doing it. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right. The lead, are you there? All right, we got to take the lead off. Honesty.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, what's your thoughts?
Well, my biggest thought is my heart is really, really heavy. I did not want this outcome at all. I feel like he owed the public an explanation. Even if it was years later and an interviewer went to the cell and, you know, he confessed to more things, because I feel like what we know about isn't it. Like, if he got away with this and others, like, just imagine what we don't know about. Just imagine the victims we don't know about. And was this an escalated incident to where, you know, he unalived, you know, Naziah for this reason? Or did he do this before and he knew that he can do this again because he got away with it before? It's just like so many unanswered questions that I have in my head, you know, just about him. Just about him. He's like a serial, you know the word, I don't want to say it or get you striked or anything like that. And it's scary because we have these people that's close to us in our own neighborhoods, and it's just goes unchecked. Like from the CPS system, from the grandmother, from every woman involved, from every man involved that hangs around with this person, that hung around with him, knew about his past, because that stuff is not secret, especially not in the black community. It's like a whisper. It's like, oh, you girl, you know he got, so it's not something that's a secret, specifically in family, close-knitted circles. So everyone knew about this, not only with Naziah, but with every other victim he's had. And he has the nerve to have kids of his own.
And not only did he have the nerve to have kids of his own, he violated his kids as well.
Exactly. And he has the nerve to have multiple baby mothers, which puts it in my head to male-centered women having children. And I always say that's the worst combination for a mother, because they're always going to put a man. It doesn't even have to be, a man they was with for years. It could be anyone showing them attention. They're moving right into the house 2 months later, meeting the kids, meeting the family. It's just ridiculous. Not even don't know anything about this man other than he pays me attention. He paid a phone bill that's $60,
and he wasn't even paying them. He couldn't have been paying them that much of attention, because at the time that he had arrested, he had Shannon that he was involved with. He had a girl that was supposed to have been his fiance. And then he had a whole nother girl that he was in a relationship with on top of him messing with these poor girls.
This is ridiculous. And this is just like the same thing. Like, we like to look at this dynamic in celebrityism. Like, oh my God, I can't believe like all of these girls, no Future and no Blueface got all it. But on the local scale, men don't even have to, like, we have the girl with Section 8 or in the projects that has a man living with her, not on the lease, not paying anything, around the kids, watching the kids. And then 6 months later, it's a new person. And this happens over and over and over again. And it never becomes a cautionary tale for the public to look within. Because we know the CPS system is overworked. We know the foster care system is super duper. It's almost like the prison system.
Right.
Like, at some point, it has to start at home, and we have to care about the offspring that we put into this world before our own happiness, before our own pleasure, before our own hypersexuality or whatever. Like, we have to care about who we put on this earth if we really want to claim that we care about making our kids better than us. Because them being violated while we, have a man laying next to us, it's not working. It hasn't worked. And then we, look at it from another perspective or someone else's lens and say, them. Well, everyone, it starts at home. It's a creepy uncle in your grandma's basement that everyone says, don't let your kids around. And everyone's just eating dinner upstairs like it's normal. Like, no, the boogeyman is downstairs and he needs to be kicked out.
He needs to be arrested. or dealt with street justice wise.
Exactly. Like some stuff, like, I understand, like, it's to the point to where there's actual, PDF file groups that's trying to normalize it and make it normal to where it's not a thing, a huge thing in the saying the registry is discriminatory. Like, what this is people having these spaces to have these arguments to normalize this stuff. And the more we see it, the more we become desensitized to it. And it's just a sad story for the moment. And we move on to another Naziah. And it's like, at some point, like, these conversations needs to go beyond the conversation. And it needs to get back to the village raising these kids, because just because this stupid AB is sitting up here knowing this stuff is happening, making up excuses for it, turning her head, and then getting mad at the child for being fast and, being hypersexual. No, she's being abused, and you're letting it happen. And everyone else in the family should be spamming this and spamming this and spamming this, because what people care more about is their reputation publicly. Like, they would, oh no, that's not happening. Oh no, that's not happening. And we see it, with just streamers that kind of pretend that they're doing more than they're doing just to appease the public so they can still be demons in private. But at least in the public, we know that, okay, they have eyes on them now. They know they have eyes on them now. So they're going to move a little bit differently. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but in this case, I feel like it didn't happen at all. It's like everyone knew it was normal. It was normalized to them. They most likely villainized the kids that was getting abused, calling them fast, saying, you know, what they say in our communities when, you know, they feel like you're trying to take their man, or the stepdad is paying a little bit more attention to the overly developed 12-year-old. And it's like the kid is villainized and called fast and called SLU, you know, I can't SLU, you know, and they growing up having this resentment towards the mother, and now you have this mother-daughter dynamic that's just no trust for the mom because she's not protecting me and she knows what's happening to me, and then no trust for the daughter because she's getting too old, she's getting overly developed, and she might take my man. It's ridiculous. So that's all I have to say. I'm very, very upset. I'm almost shaking that he's not even here, because I feel like years later we would be getting his unspoken or untold, you know, stuff like that, to where, oh, there's more bodies than just, oh my God, this person was actually a monster. And then they run in rings. So
I mean, he was like, let's be clear. We're not gonna find out that he was actually a monster. We know that.
Oh well, yeah, he like yeah. I'm just saying, like on a scare, like on a Netflix documentary scale, on a Netflix documentary scale, like this person was actually. I just can't even I can't even fathom a man I brought into my home. I'm messing with, and he's messing with other people on top of that, and kids, and I'm just like, oh, I would rather have the man.
Right.
Go get you an X doll with a vibrating, you know, and be happy.
Like, thank you so much, Honesty, for calling in. I appreciate you so much. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, Jarvis Butts was found deceased today in his cell. It is reported that he took his own life. He took the coward way out. There is going to be an investigation, an autopsy to basically speak about what exactly happened, how he exactly took his life. But so far, it's just being reported that he was found deceased, and it is being reported that he was the ultimate taker of his own life. So let me just give you guys this quick video for those of you guys who didn't see it on my other live. This is Fox 2 Detroit.
Department of Corrections says Jarvis Butts was found dead in a prison in Jackson.
Butts had pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Neziah Harris. He was just given a sentence of 35 to 60 years just 2 weeks ago. The Detroit teen's body was never found. Butts was also sentenced for sexually assaulting children. Now, at this point, the Department of Corrections says that it's being reported as a suicide.
Frozen.
All right. So, let's go to Dalan. Hello.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for letting me in. So it's been confirmed that it was an actual unaliving of himself.
Yeah, that's what we just said. Yeah.
Okay, because I was holding out hope that it might not have been at his own taking, but so that's what I had wanted to really ask, because I had put the question in the chat. But it's disgusting that he took the coward way out. It really is. And it's sad because he was given that plea deal, and others that were responsible, because I feel like there's people just as responsible as Jarvis, because had it not been for them, he would have never had the opportunity to do what he did to that little girl.
And not only did he have the opportunity to do what he did, they didn't even report it right away.
Exactly. And the fact that her death could have been, her unaliving could have been prevented had Shannon listened to her daughter and took action when her daughter told her what he did to her.
Right. But they was too worried about what people gonna think, so they continue to, even if they didn't want other people to know about it, they still continue to allow the girls to go with him. And it's just like,
right, I believe she did it more so for the fact that she didn't want to lose the man, you know. That's why she kept it, in my opinion, to herself and didn't report it. She wanted him more than she wanted to protect her daughter and acknowledge the fact that he was not healed from what she had already known prior to him even getting her pregnant with the first child. She knew what he was.
Mm-hmm.
And she allowed that predator in her household.
Yeah.
And that's the disgusting part. And as far as the grandmother is concerned, she should be somewhat held responsible too.
Yeah, I don't understand how the prosecutors was like, yeah, we need to hear from them at the impact.
Exactly. But the thing too that got me the most was the fact that because plea deals normally you're supposed to get something out of it. And especially in a case like that, the actual information as to what happened to the victim should have been, and normally it is part of the plea deal, and you get that information prior to approving anything. And also, I was kind of disgusted that the judge, because even though he was given a plea deal, the judge did not have to accept it. The judge could have ruled that it was not severe enough. And
but let's be honest, 30 to 65 years, he's already 40. By the time that he got out of prison, that was pretty much a life sentence. For the judge's sake, he did have terms that he had to tell where her body was. He did give a location. However, the location that he stated that he had unalived her was a location that was already searched and uncovered.
Exactly.
No body. Now, I understand that it's like, okay, let's not give him any type of plea, but at the same time, you have to understand that this isn't just a situation to where it affects just Naziah, but it's like, we know he's guilty. We have evidence. Putting on a trial, although we want to know the details, we want to know all of the information, you got to think he had several victims other than Naziah that would have to go up. They would have to testify. They would have to say what happened to him. There was a girl who I think was at 4 at the time that this happened, and he allegedly gave her an STD. They would have to relive those things on the stand. They would have to re-traumatize themselves. So although we want to hear what happened to Naziah and we want to hear all the details, we have to be selfless and understand the impact that going through a full trial, when we know he's guilty, we know he did it, we know he's guilty, and it's just like, why waste taxpayers' dollars in putting on a trial? Why re-victimize these young girls into having to relive this and go through all of the testimony when just throw the book at him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a life, like a L sentence, but he wasn't getting out, and life wasn't going to be easy for him.
Right. That's true. But also when you look at, and that was the good part of the plea deal, is that a lot of those victims did not have, especially the young minor ones, did not have to get back on the stand and tell what happened to them, which, you're right, would further traumatize them. But also when you look at it on the other end too, with all the charges that was dismissed, how did the other victims feel when those charges were dismissed against them, against their case? So it's a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, of course. No, I understand what you're saying.
And my other point that I wanted to make was that to me, I didn't think he had enough. If he did, being that you said that it was confirmed that it was a unaliving, he didn't appear to be the type to me that would take his own, life. But I think that if he did do that, because the jury is still out in my book, if that's what actually happened, that he actually did it himself, that jury is still out for me. I just have to wait for them to come out with the actual evidence of what actually happened and what was the cause of his unaliving, as far as the autopsy and stuff is concerned. But if he did do it, my opinion and why he did it and what made him finally, I guess, get a conscience is what his daughter said to him at the sentencing. because that is the only time he even picked his head up and looked at anybody. And I think it may have gotten to him when his daughter said to him how she looked up to him and he was her hero, and then how she called him a monster. I think that may have had some kind of impact on him, because if you think about it, the whole time, every time he came to court, he never looked up. He didn't even look at any of the witnesses other than his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe somewhere in that monstrous heart of his, or sick mind of his, something clicked, and he just couldn't live with the reality of what he did to his daughter, especially when she said also that it's because of him that he has changed not only her life but her sexuality.
Yeah, that was powerful and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah. So that's basically, what I want to say. But it is good in a sense too, and I must agree with you that the victims, especially like I said, these young girls, but did not have to get up there and be further traumatized, because not only will they have to tell their story by the prosecutors, they'll be cross-examined by the defense. And I wouldn't want to see anybody have to go through that, especially being as young as a lot of those victims were.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dalan.
you.
I appreciate you. Cassandra, we about to go to you. Put it down. All right.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to come back on and say that with the other caller after me, we have to protect these children, because there are so many Naziahs out here. Even for my family, I remember my cousin, she went through this same situation, and it was exactly the same scenario. It was her aunt's baby daddy, that was violating her. And when it was brought out, um, no one believed her. They treated her as if, she was, the one that did something wrong, to make her feel like she was promiscuous. And, she's 9 years old, and not only did he do it to her, but he did it to two other children in the family. My cousins, her nieces as well, and like this man got off like with basically, nothing really happening to him, just a little bit of jail time, has to register as an offender. She went on to have more children by him, my cousin. And it's just like so sick, to know that the adults and everybody around, nobody protected these children, my cousin that I initially was talking about, she was a foster child, and my aunt took her in. Um, and she was supposed to protect her and take care of her. And they all failed her, but they treated her as if she was the one who did something wrong, and it's just awful. It's led me to the point where I don't even want to deal with them anymore because of how they dealt with the entire situation and how they dealt with these children, I remember it was a time, my cousin, she was having a birthday party and she asked if my daughter could come over there. Have you lost your mind? My child could never, ever come over there or come around any of you people, because things would be totally different with me, if, just God forbid. But it's just like I said, we have to protect these children, and when your kids come to you and they say something is wrong, you believe them, you investigate, you just don't, make the child feel as though they've done something wrong. It's just wrong. It's just awful. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, put that out there, that yes, we as a community as a whole, we got to do better with, protecting these children and be more vigilant and, listen to these babies, because this stuff was going on in my cousin's home, and she was right there in the next bedroom. How
Yeah,
could you
wow.
not know that something like this is going on? But again, she wanted the man. She wants to keep the man. She wants to have a man because, her self-esteem is so, poor that, whatever man gave her any attention, she, jumped at that, And like I said, again, she went on to have children by this predator, and she has a daughter too,
Yeah.
and like I
And
said,
did anybody do
you
any
better
jail
be
time?
very,
Did it
very
say that
careful.
did the
Very,
guy
very careful.
did the
Because
guy go to jail?
what happened to someone
Hello?
else, you know what I'm saying? You better
Can
hope
you
it
hear
doesn't
me?
happen to you and yours, While you didn't believe that
Hello?
that family member, you better hope it doesn't happen to you with your daughter and this sick predator,
Yeah.
So
All right.
I just
Can you
wanted to
hear
say
me?
that and put that out there.
Can you hear me? Maybe
I
she
can hear.
can.
Oh, is
Maybe
it?
she can't hear me. All right, Tiffany. Do you want to be on camera?
That's fine.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you, Cassandra. Hopefully your family member got the help that they needed. It's an unfortunate situation. It sounds like the police need to be involved. Clean your camera off. It's a little fuzzy. But
Yeah, I know. How do I?
just
Let's
wipe it
see.
with your shirt.
Oh, hold on. Gotcha. Wait a second here. This is a crappy phone too.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is that a little bit better?
it's okay. All right.
Yeah.
But to the last caller, hopefully that your niece or whatever, they find healing. Hopefully you called the police. I didn't hear, or maybe I was zoned out, but I didn't hear police involved or whatever. So, do your part and call the police on them, if there is a violation going on. Tiffany, what's your thoughts on this situation?
Okay, so my thoughts, and I'll make it brief. And I just want to say, wow, it is amazing talking to you. I've been following you for 3 years, and your
Oh, okay.
commentary, everything you report on, is amazing, and
Thank
you get
you.
the job done. But I wanted to say with this one hit home because I have a little girl myself, and that my little girl is 17 now, off to college soon. But it's like so many people did her such an injustice. And I can't fathom going through something like that. And then watching that lady in the courtroom, I guess, what was she, the grandmother or something?
Yeah.
It's like, you showed no emotion. It was almost like, well, she's dead and gone, but I got to figure out life for myself.
People are
Because
bothering me.
yes, I know me as a mother. Yo, where is my daughter at? First of all, second of all, what possessed you to do something so disgusting? What is wrong within your body, you demon, to do something like that to a child? She don't get a chance. Here you are. You get to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw the new report. Now he did, as he deserved to be. Sorry, I said that. I'm sorry, unalive.
No, you can say dead. You can say dead.
Okay. But it's just like, you know what? You got exactly what you deserve. And that baby doesn't get to enjoy life. She doesn't get a lot of stuff. And it just, people are sick.
And
Now I'm a little afraid for my daughter going to college.
not only does Naziah not get to, live her life, but the victims that are still living, they have to live with the trauma of what he did for the rest of their lives. While he took the easy way out and took himself out, you have his daughter, the daughters of the different women that he dated, all of the other girls that he violated. They have to deal with that trauma for the rest of their lives.
And that's another thing that, I mean, we as people, we can get on here and we think, like I said, thank God people like you exist to put the stories out there. As a person who has gone through trauma, somewhat of the sort like that, you never forget it. You never, I'm still afraid of the dark, and I'm a 40-year-old woman. I'm afraid of the dark because of what my cousins did to me.
Wow.
And I've gone through, trust me, when I say I've gone through therapy, all of that, still, there's still sometimes that fear in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you're traumatized.
Yeah, so what you said, that trauma, people don't understand, like, that's real. And it feels real to us. And we can't forget it. We can't shake it. It's hard. And people don't sympathize. It's like, oh man, shut up. You're just another story.
Right.
No, but my story is real. And it sucks. And one thing I always like to tell people, yes, while I haven't gotten over it, but I will not sit and wallow in it. But one thing I love to tell people is that you never know what a person has gone through. Don't knock them. And that trauma to them, what feels funny and fake to you, no. And you don't get to tell a person when to get over their crap.
Right. Yeah, and
But,
I think that, it's unfortunate what happened to you, and hopefully you said it was your cousin that did it?
Cousins. As in S, yes.
Yeah, hopefully they suffered some type of consequences, but it's one of those things to where as a mom, you're able to, try to give your daughter as much protection from the world as possible. There's things as parents that, no matter how much we try to protect our babies, there is evils of the world that can still happen, but you can speak out against it and, give your daughter the tools to be able to navigate certain things from, your unfortunate situation. And it's good that you went through therapy. A lot of people in our community, they don't really take therapy as a serious avenue.
People make fun of it.
Yeah.
People make fun of it.
Yeah, but it's also important to not only go through therapy, but get the right therapist. A lot of people, they'll go to therapy and they'll get linked up with a therapist, and it's not really a good therapist or somebody that you connect with. So then you think oh, this ain't for me. It's all about going through therapy, but also going to a therapist that you connect with that can really walk you through what you've been through. So it's good that you went through therapy so that you can navigate the tools. But even going through therapy, like you said, it's not something that you're just gonna just get over. It's just a step to help you navigate healing with it. But,
and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, and another aspect of it is, yes, choosing the right therapist. That's very important. You want to make sure that you are talking to somebody that you feel is relating to what you're saying, not somebody that's just making a buck off of you.
Right.
And then on top of that, something else with my trauma that I had to notice is now I said, my daughter is, thank God she is who she is. She's freaking amazing to me. But every parent says that.
Right.
But one of the things that I noticed dealing with my trauma is I kept my kids, because I have a son and I have a daughter. My son is the oldest. My daughter is the youngest. And but I kept my kids away from my family. And I had to unpack that. Because my kids are like, Mom, why don't we know your side of the family? Oh, no, because I wouldn't deal with them. I
Right.
know what they did to me. I didn't want my kids around them.
Yeah.
Now that my son is old enough, I still don't play about my daughter. But now that my son is old enough, where he's military, he does his thing, now he has their information. But I kept my family, I was mom,
You
wife,
gotta. I mean, you gotta
and
protect your kids. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do to
yeah,
protect your babies.
I don't play about that. I'm not having my kids around no dang on pedophiles. No, because I'm gonna have to kill you. Sorry. Delete.
It's okay. But yeah, I
But
mean,
anyway, thank you wow, that was amazing because this is awesome. You had me on the show. Thank you so much.
all right. Thank you,
But
Tiffany. I appreciate you.
put some respect on that little girl's name, and I'm sorry that he did that, and I hope he gets whatever's coming to him.
In
But
the
apparently he
afterlife,
did.
right?
Exactly. Apparently he did, and to me, it's like you took the sucker way out. You're a coward, and you
Right.
know exactly you did that wrong.
Hmm.
Yeah. I pray that that little girl's soul rest in peace, and I'm sorry for what happened to her, but F him.
Right.
He deserves
May he rot in piss. Thank you.
it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Tiffany. All right,
Okay.
y'all. So that concludes the call-in show. If you guys did not see my first original video announcing his death, definitely go to my channel. I did a video right before this. Now, the way that YouTube does it, they separate our videos based on how we uploaded them. So like if it's a direct video upload, it's under videos, and if it's live, it's under live. I went live, so go to my live tab and watch my previous video on this, breaking down him taking himself out, taking the coward way out, and going through some of the different things on social media. This was just supposed to be specifically for people to call in and speak on how they felt about it. Rest in peace to Naziah. May the other children that he violated get healing, and may the people who enabled him doing this rot in misery for their days. You know, I don't really wish ill on people, but them, I wish the worst for all of them. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video, and